I asked you guys who your favorite villain is, and most of you chose Doflamingo. So I have to make this video about Doflamingo. Like, why is he considered the best antagonist? Let's start with the basics. What is an antagonist? In storytelling, an antagonist opposes the protagonist. They don't have to be evil. For example, in Death Note, L is the antagonist and Light is the protagonist. So it's not about being good or evil. And in One Piece, Doflamingo stands out among the other villains. I think there are multiple reasons for this. First, Doflamingo is undeniably cool. But being cool is not enough to make a great antagonist. Other villains like Enel, Akainu or Katakuri are also cool in their own ways. What makes Doflamingo different is the balance between being cool and intimidating. Despite his constant smile, there is a crazy aura around him. He is very human. He can be angry, he can lose his temper, and he holds grudges. For example, he hates traitors, as we saw in Bellamy or Rosinante. Like, the guy becomes a psychopath if you betray him. He has unique abilities, he is extremely manipulative, and his presence is always felt. Like, every time when he speaks, you get the chills. Every scene where Doflamingo is present hooks us and makes us excited. And especially his string powers show how manipulative he is. It's actually a power that fits Doflamingo. Traits like this make him extremely cool. So, while we undercovered the cool factor, let's get more deep in Doflamingo's story. This brings us to the concept of complicity and depth. Depth is about layers, how much dramatic storytelling a character's backstory has, and how well their personality reflects the contradictions of reality. Real people are inconsistent, and when a character lacks that, they can feel unreal. But Doflamingo is definitely not one-dimensional. He has some bad traits, like we talked, but he also has some good traits, like he is extremely loyal to his subordinates. This contradiction makes him feel real. He can commit very brutal crimes without thinking about it, but yet he will lose his temper when someone mocks Pika's voice. I think this shows his psychology is definitely not right, and this is tied to his tragic backstory. Born a celestial dragon, Doflamingo always believed that he was above the ordinary people. All of the celestial dragons think that other people exist to serve them, but his father, Doflamingo Homing, suddenly gave up his celestial dragon status. So they were exiled from Marijoa and they had to live like commoner people. And of course this led to their downfall, because normal people hated celestial dragons. That was much more than Doflamingo could take. He killed his father, erased his past, and rebuilt his identity around a new family, the Don Quixote family. But his brother Don Quixote Rosinante went a completely different way. Rosinante experienced the same suffering as Doflamingo, yet he chose to rise above it. And this brings us to the nature of good and evil. So in my opinion, this shows us no matter what happens to you in your life, being good or evil is a choice. And even when Doflamingo's past helps us understand his actions, that doesn't mean he was right being a villain, because his brother Rosinante shows us that you can go a different way too. And their relationship adds another layer of complexity. While Doflamingo cared for his brother, he couldn't forgive his betrayal. When he learned about Rosinante's betrayal, he lost his temper. I think that's because Rosinante reminded him of his father, and he didn't even hesitate to kill his brother. In Doflamingo's world, the consequence of betrayal is death. And if we have to go a little bit more philosophic, we can see that what makes Doflamingo different is his intellect and philosophical speeches. Even before we knew him, this guy dropped so many crazy speeches during the Marineford arc about justice and power. Over time, his reflective quotes and philosophical speeches made us realize how multi-talented he is. Even when he was imprisoned, he kept dropping crazy quotes. Unlike many villains, his impact doesn't rely on his strength in battles. Don't get me wrong, he is strong, but his ideologies and the way he challenges the world make him unforgettable. So my personal thoughts are Doflamingo is definitely a great antagonist, and in my opinion he's also one of the most well-written characters in One Piece. He's probably not my personal favorite, but I like the way he was built up, especially in Dressrosa. Like, on the one side he is a disgusting human being. He is crazy, he has psychological problems, he is evil, but on the other side, I respect his intelligence, and he has some good traits. My only complaint is I wish his abilities had been explored even further. I think he could use his abilities more stronger and he could be a stronger villain. But maybe we'll see a little bit more in the future. So why do people love Doflamingo? I think that's because a combination of his style, his intellect, his tragic backstory, his disgusting personality, his craziness, and maybe much more. You can let me know in the comments why you like or hate Doflamingo that much. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel for more One Piece content.